So, couple of caveats before I start this video. While I describe myself as relatively tech savvy, I would not describe myself as a hardware guy. This is not a build to make a top-end gaming PC that's going to smash the Xbox Series X or the PS5 out of the water. That is not what this is, and if this is what you expected it to be, there's much better videos out there for that. Also, given the facts that I'm not a hardware guy, the likelihood of something going wrong on this is pretty substantial. So with that being said, I'm going to do some processor transplant surgery on my PC. Want to come and have a look? So, one other caveat that I neglected to mention there, this is not going to be a how-to video. Let me assure you, there are much better resources out there to tell you what you need to do if you want to upgrade or make changes to your PC. But before we get on with the surgery, I suppose I should explain what I'm doing here. So this is my Dell Optiplex 3010 small form factor PC. It's about 10 years old, but I've only bought it about 3 years ago, refurbished for about 80 quid. Now when I bought it, it had an Intel Core i3 3220 processor, 4GB of RAM, and that was about it. Now just to be clear, when I bought this computer, I had no intention of it being a top-end gaming rig. That was never the intention. I mean, if I want to play a AAA game, I will tend to use a console just because it's simpler. This was for doing work, this was for using the likes of Photoshop, maybe doing some video editing, definitely capturing gameplay footage, and well, when I was trying to dip my toe into streaming, that was what it was bought for. But the thing is, the Dell Optiplex series is known for being, well, for business and enterprise users, and generally that means it's only ever used or really needed to run an internet browser and Word and Excel. Maybe some other things, but that's generally it. But it's definitely been chugging in its old age, and well, I thought I'd give it a second chance and decided it might be time to give it a new little beating heart, just to kind of see me through for the time being. Now this has been an ongoing thing. As I said, I've had it for 3 years now. This isn't the first thing I've changed on it. So thankfully these computers are ridiculously easy to open. I don't know if that's just because of a business standpoint or what, but that just does the trick. So the keen-eyed amongst you probably noticed that there has been some work done in this system. It's not completely stock, let's be fair. First thing I did was this little sucker. This thing came with no onboard Wi-Fi. In fact, the networking was pretty dire, but that was fixed with a relatively cheap Wi-Fi board off of Amazon. I think at the time it was only about 12 quid, which was not bad. The next thing I did was actually right beside it. So this is a Gigabyte GeForce GT 1030. Now it's not an amazingly powerful graphics card, but compared to the onboard Intel integrated graphics that was on it, it's light years in difference, I'm not going to lie. Now I'm not going to open this up completely to show the other mod I have put in this. It did come originally with two 2GB sticks of RAM for 4GB total, and it kind of chugged with that, so just over a year ago I took them out and threw into Corsair Value Select 4GB sticks for total 8GB, and quite frankly it's been night and day since I did that. Between that and the graphics card, it's night and day to what it was originally. So, but that being said, we can still kind of squeeze a little bit of power out of this. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not going to be a top-end rig, that's not my intention with this, but we still want some decent use out of it. So surgery today is going to involve taking this off. For those of you who don't know what this is the fan and cooling system for the Core i3 that's currently in the motherboard just now. That's getting ripped out, and it's going to be replaced by this little beauty right here. This is an Intel Core i5 3570. Now it's only clocked at 100 MHz faster than the i3 that's in there currently, but it does have an additional 2 cores for 4 in total. So hopefully, I should be able to see even just a minor boost. So first and foremost, I'm going to have to identify where these screws are to take them out. In fact, I think I will need to take this out. Right, okay. Right. So this drive just pops out, I believe. So maybe we will get to see the RAM. If I remember right, this should just lift out from here. Yep, there we go. Ah, there we go. Okay, now I see where we're going. Alright, okay, I see exactly where I'm going now. Driver is in the right way. Oh, and if you can see it now, that's just in here, that's where the two 4 gig sticks of RAM are. I need a different bit. That's a bit better. Actually, looking at this, the heatsink and cooler for, even if it was I knew it was a small form factor, looks much more significant than I actually initially thought. I didn't think it was a massive thing that was in here, but in fact, where is the fan header? It might be beneficial to take the fan header out before I continue. Come on. Right, guys, I think I need to get the trusted ring light up. Doesn't help when I'm limited for space as well. Round to that. You can see why that's not coming out now. I'm going to cautiously continue, even though I've not got to pull this off. There we go. Just gently take this off. There we go. Now, so at this point we should stop, just for 1 second. As I mentioned, I'm not a hardware guy. I didn't know if I could get away with just wrenching the damn thing out of there and breaking it. But then we also had to add the bonus that, yeah, okay, I tend not to open my computers unless I need to. And yeah, you've seen the state of the block there. I probably should have done this sooner. So off camera, I eventually managed to pry the clip out with a bit of difficulty, and then I spent a solid 10 minutes cleaning thermal paste and getting as much of the dirt and gunk and dust out of that fan assembly as I possibly could. So yeah, it's probably been in the best shape it's been. I don't even know if it'd been cleaned before I bought it, to be fair. But as you can see right here is the old processor. So that's the one that's coming out. So a little bit of dusting and cleaning later. Heatsink is pretty much ready to go. So last thing's a charm. It's time to do the processor. You'll notice that I have also taken the RAM out just to give me the best chance of getting into this. But you'll notice that's all you have to do to get in to the processor. Right, another quick break in the proceedings here. So when I decided that I wanted to upgrade, there was only a couple of real options that I had available to me. I could have splashed out on a graphics card, which is kind of laughable in this current climate. I could have tried the go and upgrade the RAM option again. However, the board in the computer is rated only up to 8 gig as per Dell specs. There are posts on Dell's own community forums saying that 16 gigs is possible, but I don't want to spend, well, quite a fair bit of money just to crap out on it basically. So that was kind of on the back burner too. That might be an option in the future. So thanks to the magic of the YouTube algorithm, there was a lot of computer building videos seemed to come up on my recommendations, and I became emboldened to maybe try changing out the processor. So after having a look on various benchmarking websites and various review websites, I did have a couple of options available because of this type of board. I could have actually went up to an i7. However, the i7 was a bit cost prohibitive at the moment, or at least the ones that would work on this motherboard. So after reviewing all of my options and seeing this on the CEX website, I decided to plump for the Intel Core i5-3570, which is a quad-core processor, so I'm getting 2 extra cores out of it, and about 100 MHz increase in clock speed. And it's only 20 quid. I mean, could this actually work? Could it actually give me an improvement? Now the thing is, as I've mentioned, I've been able to work in putting PCI cards into slots and figure out how to change over RAM sticks. This was the first time I've done a processor swap, or seated a processor on a motherboard ever. This was going to be interesting. Let's get that old one out and we'll get the new one in. Should work. I freaking hope it does. It should be compatible. So if you are ever wondering, I think there's a bit of glare there, but you'll see there's the 2 notches at the top of the circuit board here, and there's also a little golden triangle just in the bottom corner. That lines up with another point on the motherboard to show you which way you should be angling this. Don't want to be touching the pins. Just make sure it's actually seated. Put this back down, and the bob is, well, it's supposed to be, right, so it should be going under there, and then I just put this, and that should be us. So that is pretty much us for the most part, apart from the thermal compound. Got this off of Amazon. I will leave a link in the description for anybody who's caring. But this needs to go on before I put the fan assembly back on. So, silly me, we were going to put the RAM back in before I do the thermal compound, but me being me, I forgot which way round the RAM modules went. So you need to be generous with it, but at the same time you don't want to use too much of it because, well, the last thing you want is for there to be too much and it screws up the system, and likewise you don't want too little, otherwise it will not dissipate the heat. So a little dab of this in the middle. I'm probably going to put a little drop on the cooler as well. Thermal compound that I am using actually came with this little spatula, which was dead handy. But if you don't have a spatula, I've heard you can use the likes of a credit card or something. Basically anything that can make sure you've got a nice even-ish layer on here. So at the end of the day, this is what contacts the cooler. That's what helps with the heat dissipation. A little dab on here, not much, just a little tiny drop. Just call it for luck. There we go. Now that's done, let's get this cooler back in. Maybe I should have kept the RAM out just now. in case you hadn't guessed, I am definitely kind of eyeballing this. Okay, I believe there's 2 clips for this to seat on in the back grill. Just going to connect this now while I've got a chance. At least this should be easier putting it in than what it was getting it out of the header. To say famous last words. So this is one of these fun bits because hey, you're involving driving screws into the motherboard. You want this to be tight, but you don't want it to be too tight to break the motherboard, but at the same time you want it tight enough that it's going to contact the CPU so it actually works with the heat dissipation. Come on. And holes. Come on. There we go. Right. Second time's a charm with the RAM. This way I know how. This time I know how to seat it compared to the last time. That PC enthusiast I might not be, but this is actually quite satisfying as long as this posts. I've already made sure to check that I've updated the BIOS. I've made sure everything else should potentially be okay with this. Okay. Come on. What fresh hell is this? It seems that the cable management doesn't want to play ball. There we go. This should just fit right back in. In here. I believe that's a spare plug, I don't need that. Yay! Success, I think. One of these days I will remember which way things are supposed to go on and off without thinking about it. Today is not one of those days. In fact, wait a minute, before I do it, I'd better just make sure that, yeah, SATA bay is locked. Almighty, I do not want that happening. That should be us. Okay, so I've only plugged in the bare minimum I need to make sure this will actually post and work. Fingers crossed. It would maybe help if I plugged it in. Okay, so let's try that again. Only plugged in enough to make sure it actually posts. Fingers crossed. Take 2. Well, it's going into the BIOS. Or well, I thought it was going into the BIOS. That's not good. Right. Processor type. It is picking up processor. It's a good start. Let's try this again then. Moment of truth. Well, it's booting. That's good. I'm not 100% sure what happened that time. It may have been just me mashing the keyboard accidentally that kind of scuppered that a wee bit, but well, it seems to be booting now. Well, it's not powering down. Well, that is promising. I'm not gonna lie, it's taking a wee bit longer than I expected it to boot up, but I'm guessing this is because I've just replaced the processor. I mean, It's a new hardware profile effectively, so it will take a wee bit. But at least that's what I'm presuming. I'm genuinely wondering what's going to happen first. Am I going to finish tidying up all this before it boots, or is it actually going to let me log in? We have a login screen. And so after all that, admittedly it did take a hot minute to kind of boot up, but again I'm guessing it's because of the new hardware profile. Everything seems to work absolutely fine, and well, I've only had a few hours to kind of play about to see what the performance is, and I'm sure I'm going to get a better idea of it soon. It does seem to have been quite a worthwhile upgrade. For one, Chrome is opening faster than I even thought was actually possible, so that's fun. But in general, everything I've thrown at it so far has seen some measure of increase in performance, so I'm happy with it. Now again, full disclosure, I didn't buy this PC with the intention of making it a full-blown gaming rig. That wasn't the intention at all. But at the same time, the fact that it's possible that it can be used for more than just, again, internet or office, and actually do things like running Unity or running Game Maker or actually running some 3D games fairly competently actually. That's actually rather satisfying if I'm honest. And as I also mentioned, this is not supposed to be a how-to video. That was not my intent in this one. But it should show that even myself, someone who has not great experience with meddling with hardware in the past, even I can do a processor transplant and have it work fine. I mean, yeah, if you don't feel confident dealing with the mechanics of it all, then yeah, if you can buy a big powerful rig or a big powerful gaming laptop, then by all means, fine. But I'm hoping this video will just show that if I can do this, and let's be fair, I'm not exactly great with hardware, if I can do it, then I think literally anyone can. But at the end of the day, I'm hoping this video can just show that even if you're not completely tech savvy or a master builder, then you can still upgrade your PC. Just takes a little bit of confidence and a little bit of know-how and a little bit of Google foo, really. So if you made it this far, thanks very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, then please don't be afraid to hit the thumbs up and subscribe for more. I'm hoping to do more long form content. I have been doing this now over on TikTok for about a year, and I've been enjoying what I've been doing, and it's given me an outlet, especially when I've been rather unwell, to be fair, over the last year, and it's been giving me the chance to build up the repertoire of actually being able to do videos like this, the confidence to actually be on screen and to edit stuff like this together. So if you want to see more of this, hit that subscribe button and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.